Right here, found it sitting in your door pocket. Don't tell me you don't know what that is.
That's not mine, officer. I don't carry anything like that.
Yeah, sure. I know how guys like you move. Keep it handy, quick grab, then play innocent. Seen it 1,000 times. Whole stack of charges coming your way.
Some nights don't feel important when they start. They feel ordinary. Quiet roads, tired eyes, a steering wheel that feels heavier than it should. Marcus Reed thought this night would end like every other one. Drive home, shower, sleep, repeat. He was wrong. He had learned long ago how to stay calm, how to move slowly, how to speak carefully. Not because he was guilty, but because experience had taught him that calm was sometimes the only protection you had. When the blue lights lit up his rearview mirror just outside Briarfield Parkway, Marcus already felt the shift in his chest. He pulled over smoothly, engine off, hands on the wheel, posture perfect. He did everything right. What he didn't know was that the man stepping out of the patrol car had already decided who Marcus was before saying a word. And on that stretch of road, late at night, being decided for could cost you your freedom, your future, or your life. The officer approached slowly, flashlight low, not rushed, not cautious either, more like he owned the moment. His name was Officer Nolan Kessler, mid-40s, broad shoulders, confident walk, the kind of confidence that comes from knowing nobody usually challenges you. Marcus watched him through the side mirror, felt his jaw tighten. Kessler didn't greet him. No hello, no reason for the stop, just questions. Where you coming from? Where you going? Said flat, mechanical, like answers wouldn't matter anyway. Marcus answered calmly. Long shift at the hospital, heading home. Kessler leaned closer, inhaled exaggeratedly, then smiled in a way that wasn't friendly. Smells like something illegal in here. Marcus felt the familiar frustration rise, but kept it buried. There's nothing illegal in my car, officer. Kessler nodded slowly, like that response confirmed something for him. That's what they all say. Step out of the vehicle. Marcus complied. He always complied. He stepped out slowly, hands visible, movements deliberate. He could feel the cold night air seep through his jacket, could feel his heartbeat in his throat. Kessler directed him to the hood. Spread your hands, wider, wider still. The pat-down was thorough but unnecessary, hands lingering just long enough to feel intentional. When Kessler reached Marcus's pockets, he paused. What's this? My wallet. Kessler opened it, flipped through, eyebrows rising when he counted the cash. Just over $3,000. That's a lot of money for someone like you, Kessler said casually. Marcus explained. Overtime pay, rent due, paperwork in the car if you needed proof. Kessler didn't look at him. He held the wallet like it weighed something else entirely. Kessler walked back to the patrol car, leaving Marcus facing the hood, hands still spread, time stretching. Cars passed. A couple slowed. Marcus stared straight ahead. When Kessler returned, his tone had changed, lower, quieter, more confident. Here's how this goes. I search the car. If I find what I think I'll find, you're going to jail tonight. Or we can make this easy. Marcus turned his head slightly. Am I being detained or am I free to leave? Kessler smiled thinly. Right now, you're being given a chance. That was the moment Marcus knew this wasn't about traffic. He asked for a phone call. Kessler hesitated, shrugged, make it quick. Marcus dialed a number he had memorized years ago, not because he expected trouble, but because preparation had kept him alive before. On the other end was his older cousin Daniel, a federal investigator. Calm voice, no panic. Stay calm, don't consent, remember everything. Kessler watched from a few feet away, arms crossed, amused. The search began. Slow at first, methodical. Glove box, back seat, trunk, narrated just enough for the body camera. Marcus stayed still, aware that any movement could be misinterpreted. A woman in a passing car stared too long. Kessler shifted his body to block her view. Eyes forward, he snapped. The search dragged on. When Kessler came back empty-handed, irritation flickered across his face. Sit on the curb. Marcus sat. The concrete was cold. People like you always think staying calm helps, Kessler muttered. It doesn't. Another patrol car rolled by, didn't stop. Then another slowed. A man across the street pretended to check his phone while watching. Kessler noticed. The night was changing. He stood Marcus up again, adjusted his position physically, hands on shoulders longer than necessary. Don't make this harder. I haven't, Marcus said quietly. That pause, that single sentence, it irritated Kessler more than yelling ever could have. Backup finally arrived. A younger officer, quieter, observant. He nodded to Kessler, took in the scene. "Everything good?" Kessler hesitated, then said, "Yeah, just handling something." The younger officer stayed anyway, watching. That mattered. Then Kessler went back to the car again, this time faster. No narration, no patience. He stood up abruptly, holding a small evidence bag with white powder inside. Found something. Marcus felt his stomach drop. That wasn't there. Kessler snapped back instantly. "You don't get to tell me what's in your car." The younger officer stepped closer. "Where exactly did you find that?" "Center console." The officer checked, then looked back, expression changing. He didn't say it out loud, but doubt was written all over his face. Dispatch crackled over the radio. Kessler chose his words carefully. "Possible possession. Investigating." Marcus took a breath. "Can I make another call?" "You already did." "I was told to call back if things escalated." The younger officer nodded slightly. "If he's requesting, I'll allow it." Marcus dialed again. The call connected immediately. "Where are you?" "Briarfield traffic stop." Pause. "Put the officer on." Kessler stiffened. "Who is this?" "Daniel Reed, FBI." The word landed heavy. The younger officer's posture shifted completely. Kessler laughed once, forced. "You think saying that changes anything? It should, and it will. You've extended this stop without cause, you searched without consent, and you're being recorded." Kessler's jaw tightened. "You threatening me?" "No, I'm documenting you." Kessler finally disengaged, handed back the wallet, stepped away, cut him loose, no charges. Marcus was free to go. He didn't celebrate. He moved slowly, deliberately, every motion controlled. As he drove away, he knew the night wasn't over. It was just beginning. 2 weeks later, Kessler was called into headquarters. No explanation, just a time and a room. Inside were people he didn't recognize, and one he did. Daniel Reed sat across from him. The questions were calm, precise. Patrol patterns, late-night stops, cash seizures, body cam footage. Then came the data. Years of stops, same neighborhoods, same profiles, same outcomes. Victims started coming forward. Stories matched too well to ignore. Kessler was arrested quietly one morning in his driveway. No sirens, no speech. The charges were heavy. Civil rights violations, extortion, evidence tampering. At trial, the jury watched footage, listened to experts, heard Marcus testify without emotion. "I stayed calm, I followed instructions, I made a call." The verdict came back guilty on all counts. Kessler was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison in order to pay over $800,000 in fines and restitution. Some people celebrated the verdict, others stayed quiet. Marcus didn't feel victory the way people expect it to feel. There was relief, yes, but also exhaustion, because one bad officer didn't explain the dozens of stops that never made the news. One sentence didn't undo the years of fear that taught him how to keep his hands visible, his voice calm, his dignity contained. Kessler lost his badge, his pension, his freedom, but the system that allowed him to operate so long didn't disappear overnight. The department released a statement. Policy changes were promised, reviews were conducted. Some charges were dropped quietly, some victims never came forward at all. The road where it happened stayed the same. Cars still pulled over, lights still flashed. The difference was that now people were watching more closely. Marcus went back to work, back to long shifts, back to ordinary nights that didn't feel ordinary anymore. He didn't tell the story often, but when he did, it wasn't about revenge. It was about preparation, about knowing your rights, about understanding that staying calm doesn't mean staying silent forever. Sometimes justice doesn't come from shouting. Sometimes it comes from documentation, witnesses, and one call made at the right moment. If you've seen something like this, experienced it, or watched someone else go through it, speak up in the comments. Talk about prejudice, abuse of power, or moments where the system failed or surprised you. These stories matter, not because they're rare, but because they're real, and the more they're told, the harder they are to ignore.